I've noticed this, and I think I've noticed this since the beginning of time. I mean, it's tied in with colonization. It's tied to colonization, invasion, gentrification, all of those things. When I think about, there's direct association with the white community. I'm sorry, but it is the reality. And that is where, when I see channels made to or created to uphold the Black and brown community have so many white commenters, and I just never understand that. Like, why do you guys always manage to weasel your way into conversations that have nothing to do with you? And not only that, they try to create a division or a divide within communities of color. For example, I was looking at this specific YouTuber, and a Black woman, she talks about politics, and there was a white woman, judging off the picture, that mentioned that the Latino community is hardworking, and she actually likes the Latino community because they're hardworking. Although I've heard the opposite from a white woman prior supervisor say the complete opposite. Ooh, oh my gosh, you cannot miss me with the labels, right? They're constantly creating. But she said, and she proceeded to say, this specific commenter, that she lives around a lot of Middle Eastern, or a large Middle Eastern population, and that they are not patriotic, and therefore she doesn't understand. And she was just trying to put down another community of color to uplift hers. Please, I don't understand. Like, please go talk to a white person if you want to maybe relate a little bit more, but don't come into our turf, our territory as people of color and try to garner an ally. I'm no ally. Let's get that clear. Let's get that clear, white folks. I'm no ally with you, your ass, your beliefs, especially when they're hinged on racism and there to bring down my fellow brothers and sisters from other communities of color. No thanks. Not at all. And yeah, I'm not one to like to curse on here, but it really just pisses me off. It's like, why don't you guys just make your own spaces on YouTube? And I'm sure there's plenty of those, but you know, I don't visit those. I don't frequent those because I don't care to hear what they have to say. But the white community cares so much. It's, once again, it resembles much too closely colonization, gentrification, invasion that continues to happen. My goodness. And I will get into what I wrote, because I wrote some things that just came to mind, especially reflecting on the current situation that's happening in the Middle East. There's always something happening in the Middle East, always this attempt to, once again, create or continue to create instability. And you know, peace in the Middle East. I believe in that. I strongly believe in that. And I want to talk at one point or another about my sentiments about the military, because I just don't understand how we uplift the military that causes instability, and has caused instability in so many other countries. I believe in a military that can protect these areas, these regions within our own turf. But beyond that, why are we in other, once again, a reflection of colonization? Why are we in other people's business, right? Why are we meddling in affairs? I'm sure that they have a lot already to deal with in other countries, but the West never fails to want to continue to increase their power, increase their wealth, increase what they can have. And you know, hopefully the world is waking up to that. But, you know, I'll talk about that at one point or another regarding the military, as someone that did venture into the one that is within our turfs and territory. I don't want to go into too much detail, but naturally I do find that there's a lot of disparities there. It's really sad. And, you know, there's another case, if you guys know about the situation with Vanessa Guillen, but also even throwing it back a little further, Lavina Johnson. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. I haven't viewed her documentary in such a long time, and I know that happened such a while ago. But there was this other young lady. So oh my goodness, how, you know, all these things, all these, you know, a lot of powerful, and I guess what can we call those organizations, like, you know, these places that just they try to hide so much, but it's you know, a lot of what has been going on naturally with, and you know, just to dive a little deeper into something completely different but also somewhat related. For example, Palestine, like, I feel like there's been such an awareness on Palestine. You know, a lot of, they've tried to hush hush, but it's like, that's an insight into not only Palestine, but so many other countries that have been impacted by the West, right? And it's about time that we really expose the reality of like the West and countries that have colonized, have caused so much instability. It's so wild to me to, you know, just sell this idea that you are great, that you're so good, that you are, you've always done good. But there's, I mean, judging off history and track record, it doesn't tell me that. It tells me the complete opposite. So, you know, let's say who you are, please. It's but I'm glad a lot of things are being exposed. You know, everything, I feel like when I think about what's happening in the world as a whole, and naturally this is more so our world, because our world has now been shaken up in terms of like the US, and it's being shaken up. It's almost like a rice, when I think about it like a rice cooker, right? There's so much going on. Historically, when people say, oh, America used to be great, I'm like, bolt, you know what I'm saying, what I'm gonna say next. Please, let's not even get started with how this country became what it is. The things that happened historically, and the fact that, you know, the communities of color have managed to slowly but surely come into a better quality of a life, but it's been so slow in terms of progress that the West has no room to talk about other countries when the history of this country and of many Western nations has been rooted in the enslavement and oppression of communities of color. So when people come to me with, yeah, it used to be great, it used to be great for you, because like what I'm seeing right now is a white woman or white man or whatever it is, someone that benefited naturally off society and has had all the perks. So good one though. So yeah, that's all. That's what I'm going to say for this video, and then I'm going to read what I've been wanting to say.